Hey everyone, it's Jill the Wandering Stamper. As you can see behind me, it's another late evening video. I'm just having way too much fun here in Colorado with the kids and the grandkids, and it doesn't seem like I have enough hours in the day to get what I want done early. So here we go. So today we're making a corner pop-up card, and I am using the very fun Loads of Love set. I love the little wagon and the presents and the flowers, and everything about it is just so bright and cheerful and happy. It's a great stamp set, and the coordinating dies just take it next level. So we are going to pair it up with some very fun colors. We're going to make this great card. I can't wait to give this card out to someone who has an upcoming birthday, and I'm extra glad I get to share it with you. So let me take a moment to turn down the camera and we'll get started. Thanks for joining me. All right, here is what we are working with today. So we are using a whole variety of, or I did use, I'm probably not going to do the coloring here on camera because you don't want to watch me do that, but I used Poppy Parade, Azure Afternoon, Daffodil Delight, and Balmy Blue, just so you know, to color the images that we're using for this card. But the highlight of the card is I think I said Loads of Love earlier. It's actually filled with fun. My mind at the end of the day is toast. But this is the filled with fun stamp set. I love this stamp set. The wagon, the flowers, the banners, the balloons. It just has a little bit of everything. It's so much fun. And when you buy the bundle, you also get these dies. Now I put mine on a magnetic sheet, so it's easy to use. But you get all of the parts of the wagon. You can cut out the little triangles for the banner and make your own banner and attach it to ribbon and make it all different colors. You've also got the banner die to cut out the stamped banners. You've got the wheels, you've got little fillers for the wheels, balloons, the balloon strings, everything, hearts. There's just so much on the stamp set that you can use. So I love the stamp set. So we are using that. And then I am pairing, my colors today are going to be simple. We are using Daffodil Delight, Poppy Parade, and a teeny tiny little bit of Granny Apple Green, and of course Basic White. And then I'm also using a piece of Designer Series paper. I'm going to use these clouds for the card, and this comes from the Sunny Days Designer Series paper from last season. I really like that paper, and I just didn't really feel like making my own clouds tonight, and I knew I had this, so I'm going to use this as well. So let's get started. Let me clear my space a little bit and grab my paper cutter. So the base of this card is 11 by 4 1/4, so it's a half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm using that in Poppy Parade, and I believe this is 4 1/4 already. Yes, so this is 4 1/4 by 11. I had a half a sheet of paper left over from another card, so we're going to go with that. So then we're going to score this at 4 1/4 and 5.5 inches. So I'm going to move my cutting blade down, so we're going to score at 4 1/4 and 5.5. Very simple. All right, and so then when you fold it like that, it's going to make this little flippy open part. Okay, makes sense? Flippy open, that's the word of the day. All right, so now I'm going to grab a sheet of Basic White, and this is our corner fold sheet. So you're going to want an 8 by 8 sheet of paper. So I'm going to open up the arm of my cutter and cut this at 8 inches. This is why we love our paper cutter. Makes cutting so easy. So we've got 8 inches, and then this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So we got to cut a little bit on this side as well. So now we've got our 8 by 8. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that arm back in. Now we're going to do some scoring. So the scoring is super simple. So you're first going to put it on the 4-inch line, and you're going to score. So you're basically scoring your paper in half. Now you're going to rotate it, and you're going to score it at the 4-inch line again. All right. Now you're going to rotate it just a bit, and you're going to do one score line that's going to be diagonal from point to point. And I will put a template on my blog so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I've lined up my paper cutter right there, and now I'm going to score it. Okay, now I know it's hard to see, but we've got a score line here. Let me pull my camera up a little bit for you. Okay, so we've got a score line here, a score line here, and then I have one diagonal score line. All right, so what you want to do is place your paper so that your diagonal score line goes like this. Okay, that's the easiest way to remember that you're going to cut out this square right here. All right, we're cutting that out. So we want a diagonal score line only in this bottom right quadrant. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go ahead and now you could use your scissors or you could use your paper cutter. Let me show you how to do that. And to use your paper cutter, you just put it back on the 4-inch line and you're going to just score it up to your score line, just like that. Put it back on your 4-inch line again. And this will ensure you get a nice straight cut. So you can do it that way. I didn't quite go far enough, so I'm just going to take my scissors and snip right there. So if you're worried about your score lines not being straight, use your paper cutter. Otherwise, if you're feeling brave, go ahead and just cut it with your scissors. All right. So now we have this piece here that's solid. This piece is solid, and this piece has a score line. All right. So let's go ahead and decorate this so that, let me get a piece of grid paper. So that we can get that out of the way, and then we will start decorating the outside of the card. So let me get a fresh piece of grid paper here. So we've got this paper. So what I want to do is I want to create some flowers on it, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm grabbing the flower stamp, and I'm going to grab a, put it in my reach. There we go. So I'm grabbing that, and I'm going to grab my Memento ink. Now, what you want to be mindful is when this goes in the card, let's go ahead and glue this. So we have our card base. We had 2 score lines, right? So I'm going to burnish these score lines. I'm going to do this really quick for you so that you can see what my method to my madness is. Let's close that black ink pad for a second. So we've got this. Okay, so we want to put glue right here on this small column and glue this down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick because it'll help make the corner fold make more sense. So now I'm just going to fold that in. I like to just give it a good press with my bone folder. Okay, so now that is our card front. It opens like that. So this piece is going to be folded in like this. Use your bone folder. And then this piece is going to be folded in like that, okay? So they both fit in the card like this, all right? And then we have that center fold, and that's going to go up. So that's like a mountain fold. So when you have it in the card, after you've decorated it, it's going to sit like this and open like that. Does that make sense? So that tells me which direction I need to stamp when I'm doing my stamps, because I did want to stamp on this. So what I'm going to do is this panel needs to face this way. This panel needs to be stamped facing this way. So I'm going to start with this side, and I'm going to grab a scrap of paper. I have a small scrap here. So I'm going to grab a scrap of paper. I'm going to make sure that let's grab a piece of paper that I know has a clean edge. So I'm putting my paper right up against my score line because I don't want my stamp to be down here. I just want it up here. So now I'm going to go ahead and open my black Memento ink and ink this up really well. Right off camera, you probably can't see it. All right, and so now I'm just going to stamp my flowers. All right, cute, 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 cute. And now I'm going to ink them up one more time, and I'm going to do a little bit more right here. Okay, and so now I'm going to turn it and do the same thing. So I'm going to ink this up really well. I need to juice up my ink pad a little bit. It's getting a little dry. I'm going to make sure my paper, my mask is where it needs to be. And then I'm going to stamp my flowers. And I'm going to do it one more time. Ink this up, make sure my paper is where it needs to be, and stamp one more set. Okay? So there we go. Close up this ink. All right, so that is the way our flowers needed to be stamped. Now while I have this here, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly use Daffodil Delight and just paint the middle. Okay, so that was just a very quick coloring job, but when you put the card together, look how cute it's going to be. So then the next thing I want to do is think about what I want the front of the card to say. So I think I'm going to just put, what do I want to put? I think I'm actually going to grab the Simply Said stamp set. So if you don't see what you want in the stamp set itself, go to Simply Said. You've got a little bit of everything. So I think I'm going to grab the Happy Birthday. And how about Let's Celebrate? And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use my grid paper and lay these together. Because it has lines on it, we can make sure that we're putting our stamp straight. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to clean this stamp pad before I take my stamp off, because I will make a mess. All right. Look at that. Look what I did. I need to get back to making my videos early. I'm losing my mind. Okay, let's do this again. So Happy Birthday. And I'm putting this on the grid line. You could also use, if you have a positioner like the mini, having a brain lapse on what it's called, the Misty. You can do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. All right, so I want my message over here, I think, and then that way I have this other panel to write on. So I'm going to ink it up. You could separate these and do them on different panels if you wanted to. I'm pulling this down. I know you can't see it probably, I'm sorry, but I am not doing great tonight, so I know it'll be crooked. So there we go. And I know you're probably looking at that saying, oh, but Jill, it's so low. Trust me, I'll show you why in just a moment. Let me put these stamps back on here so I don't lose them because they're skinny. So yeah, again, if you're looking for a great go-to set, the Simply Said is fabulous, and it goes really well with these. So, All right, so that's done. I'm going to close that up, and now we are decorating. All right, so what I've done ahead of time, let's set this aside for a minute and go to the outside. So what I've done ahead of time is I went ahead and die cut and colored the presents, the body of the wagon, a cute little saying, sending loads of happiness. This is going to be our ground. We've got balloon pieces. These are like the little strings that the balloons hang from. And I've die cut several balloons. And then I've die cut, keep holding on to this wheel. I can't pick anything up, so I'm getting my take your pick tool out. So here are our two wheels. And then you even get the little handle to the wagon, and they give you a little extra part for gluing onto the wagon. And then I also die cut 2 each of these banners. So this putty tip is the bomb tonight. So there's all of our pieces. All right, so the only thing we have to do is cut our piece of designer series paper for the clouds. So I'm going to grab that paper cutter and I'm going to cut a 4x4 sheet, or piece, I should say. Just going to cut this across at 4 inches. Make my life easy. 4x4. I love that these clouds are already done for me. Otherwise, I would be pulling some clouds I have and using those. All right, so that's going there, but that looks plain, right? So we want to grab our Daffodil Delight, and we're going to cut that at 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 to layer behind it. So it's just going to pop so much more with that behind it, and I'm all about using my paper to really let everything stand out. All right, so now when we layer this on, look how much better it looks. Isn't that so much better? So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. The reverse side of this paper is so cute too. All right, I've got so much in my way. I don't even have my silicone craft sheet out. If any night I will mess up something, it will be tonight because I'm tired. All right, so there is that layer. So now I'm going to go ahead and add the liquid glue to the back of this. And I'm going to make sure my clouds are facing the correct way and layer these right on the front, just like that. So there we go. So now we're going to decorate that in just a moment, but I already cut a piece of Granny Apple Green 4 inches wide, and then I just used scissors and made it curve. So we're going to go ahead and glue this down. You could also use lemon lime twist. I'm sure that would look good. And I'm just going to put this at the bottom edge because, you know, it doesn't make sense for our wagon to roll on clouds, right? It doesn't fly. All right, so now I kind of just want to lay this out so I know where I want to put it. So I think this is good. I think this is good. And then I just want to make sure where I'm putting it, it's all going to fit. So we can move this over just a bit. So that's what I like to do. And we have this right here too. So I think what we're going to do is put this down first because I don't want to cover up the cute candles, right? That would not be good. So let's grab some dimensionals. Think of this as just kind of, we're just layering. I'm using the edges here. Just giving this a good amount of coverage because I know it's going to get played with a lot. Okay, let's take all these pieces off. So I'm using some dimensionals. Now you could glue this right down. It would be just as cute. Okay, get those thrown away or else I'll have them all over the RV. Oops, forgot one. Okay. So I am just going to give it a little bit of a border. Make sure it's straight. Cute. So cute. All right. So now when I put this together, I can make sure that my little candles are not going to be covered up. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in place because I'm going to use dimensionals for the wheels. So let's start out by attaching this. So I'm going to put a thin layer of, it leaves, I like these dies because they give you a little tab so you kind of know where the glue has to go. Look how pretty. I put some Wink of Stella. I know you can't see that, but I put a wink of Stella on the bows and it really made the bows pop. So I'm just gluing this all in the wagon, just like that. Look how cute. So adorable. All right, so now that we have that on, now we can just add our liquid glue everywhere. And I'm going to put it right here, just like that. And I'm going to lay these wheels here because I want to make sure the wheels are not going to be off the card. So that looks good. So once I'm happy with it, it's going to push it down. I'm going to put a couple dimensionals. My fingers are sticky. Where are my dimensionals? I just had them. There they are. I'm going to just put one on the middle of each wheel. And you know what I didn't do? I didn't glue this on. Hopefully it's going to let me do that. Just going to put this little bit of glue right here and tuck this handle right under before it dries. Whew, I was worried about that. And I'm just going to put a couple dots of glue, and I did it this way because I wasn't sure. If it was too late to add it, we were good. All right. So now I'm going to add my wheels. I like how they kind of pop up. You could also emboss these wheels. That would be super cute. All right. And while we have it out, I couldn't decide if I wanted to use these or these. I think I'm going to use these these are the rainbow adhesive back dots that I had. I kind of like these soft little yellow doodads, so I think that's a good choice. All right, so now we want to decorate over here. So that piece is going to be 1x4, very simple. So this is where I go to my little crafts, my little scrap stash, and look and see. There's 1 inch. I saved so many scraps. Does anybody else save way too many scraps? So 1x4, and then you need 1 1/8 by 4 1/8, because we want to give it that same layering. 1 1/8 by. Oh, I'm living large right now. That worked out perfect. Okay, that just happened to be the right size scrap. So now these two will be layered together and put right here. Let me make sure that they fit because I'm tired. Yes. And you know what? Let's add, should we add some confetti? Let's add some confetti, why not? So there is a little confetti stamp. I'm hoping this will fit good enough. I think that will work. All right, so we will grab Poppy Parade, Daffodil Delight, and Asia Afternoon, and we're going to do some quick stamping. This is just confetti, so I'm just going to so now that that's done, I'm going to add my liquid glue. I guess at least you're seeing my mental thought process, right? And just get this just right. And then I'm going to just make sure that everything's lined up nicely. So that is there. And now we have these little balloons, and I've already die cut them. So what I like to do is kind of figure out, where do I want to put them? I think I'm going to just kind of stagger them like this. And then I cut out the strings, but I did it on adhesive sheets so that I didn't have to put the teeny tiny glue dots on it, because it's kind of hard to get that glue exactly where you want without it kind of getting out off the side of the paper. So I just use my pick, take your pick tool and pull that up. And I'm going to glue this one down. About right there. And now that I have that down, I know where my my string's gonna go, right? So I'm gonna put that string there, and of course, it's adhered now. Now I think I'm gonna pop this one up with a dimensional. So I'm gonna do my blue one next. This is Asia Afternoon. I like this color. Maybe we'll do it this way. And then I've got another balloon stem. Just pulling up that paper. This one will probably get a haircut. And now the nice thing is they bend two different ways, so you can kind of put it where it's going to bend. Now I know this is going to be too long, so I'm going to cut this off and just pop it under the edge like that. And now I have this one, and I'm just going to add a dimensional to the back, and we'll do this one about right here. And I'm going to grab one more of these. And the nice thing is, and I did these in gray, the nice thing about this is that you can cut some extra ones and just keep them in your box so you have them. So I keep them in with the die box or the stamp box, so I have them for next time. So there we go. So there is the front of our card. Move that over just a bit so it's in the center. Look how cute. All right, so now we need to do something with the inside, right? So we're going to go back to that centerpiece that I have on my table somewhere. Lordy, lordy, where is it? Are y'all looking at it and laughing at me right now? Because did it fall? Making myself crazy. Found it. Okay, so we have that piece we colored already. So we're going to go ahead and grab the card, and we're going to start out by adhering this part right here. And before I do that, I have decided I'm going to go ahead and put it in there first, then we're going to play. So I'm just going to put glue on this panel only. And then you're just going to place that inside with just a nice little even layers. Mine are not even. Okay. All right, and now you fold this up and this over, okay? And now put your glue on this side, on the back of the other panel. All right, and now just shut your card. Give it a little push. Voila. Cute, right? Now, if you wanted it to be a little bit extra, I'm going to go back to that Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to do a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Do you hear that dog barking? We have new neighbor campers, and their dog barks a lot. I don't know what it's barking at. There's nothing out there. We're in the woods, but I mean, I haven't even seen wild animals out here. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and then cut it diagonally. And we're going to glue it here. And it just complements the leaves, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in there. I didn't do that with my other card. I actually stamped that confetti, and then I looked at it and went, well, Jill, you put confetti on the ground. So, I mean, it's cute, but I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it as much as the idea of putting the green in there. Of course, I didn't think about the green until after I did the confetti. I like this much better. Makes sense to me. All right, make sure these are sort of straight. There we go. And now I'm going to give it a press. See? So by adding that green in there, it just gave it a little more character, I think. It looks really good. But one more step. So remember, we cut out all these little flags. So how cute would these be inside the card? And that is why I kind of put my words sort of low, because I wanted to put those on there. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to each of these little tips. And no rhyme or reason, I'm just going to pop it on there. All right. And then I'm going to, I think, add a red one right here. So I know I'm only going to need glue up to this one. My husband's in the bedroom laughing. He must be on Instagram or something. He's in there just howling, laughing. Okay. So once I get that glued down, then I'll just take my scissors and give it a little trim, just like that, and then I can move it over if I want. Got to get the glue off my fingers. All right, now I want to use this yellow one too, so I think I'm going to layer another one like right here, just to make it fun. Maybe right here, or maybe I'll do it here. What do you think? I think I'll do it here. So I'm going to add a little more glue. Just like that. So it just kind of looks like a whole bunch of streamers. All right, so now for the other side, I'm going to match them up. Okay, so I'm going to put this first one here, so I only need that much. Now you could do this before you put this together, but I found I like to do it this way because I can kind of, I don't know, match it all up easier. I like matching it up. Look at this. This is for my sticky fingers. Got a little glue All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this yellow, and I'll attach it to the blue. I find this very relaxing. Does anybody else find creating cards relaxing? I get super relaxed when I'm doing this stuff. All right, and so then the last piece we have is this blue one that I want to incorporate. So I think I'm going to put it right here, and then I'll just cut off the extra. So that way we hide our end of our red one. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take my sticky scissors, for sticky stuff, because you don't ever want to use your good scissors for cutting sticky stuff. And I'm just going to cut it. Okay. There we go. So here's our card. Sending loads of happiness with our happy little balloons, our wagon. It sparkles. I know you can't see it because of the wink of Stella. Open it up and it says, "Happy birthday, let's celebrate." Remember, I put both stamps on the block together using the lines on my grid paper. And then I created all my little flowers, and it sits up on the counter just like that. So it's on full display, and you have plenty of room to write your message on the back. And if you needed more, you could add a white panel back here. But I find this is just plenty of room to write a message, and it's not hard. I just kind of write it right here. But if you wanted to, you could add a panel on the back as well. So there is our first sample. Let me show you a totally different card. This uses the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set and designer series paper. I love this paper. It's so pretty. And I paired it, even though Night of Navy is not one of the matching colors in this paper, it perfectly matches this Misty Moonlight. So I went ahead and paired it. It's on Blackberry Bliss and Petunia Pop, and then the paper, and then I've added the ribbon, and then it opens up, and then I used the sentiment. It says, "May you find peace in the days to come and in the loving thoughts that surround you." And that comes from the Hope You Know stamp set. This is another one that has lots of great go-to sayings, and I like a good saying sometimes inside of a card, so there are several in that stamp set. And then the let me show you the other stamp set. This is the Thoughtful Wishes stamp set, and it has coordinating dies, and I used these flowers, these little thistles, and popped those in there with Misty Moonlight, and then I used the reverse of this paper right here on the inside, and then you've got this whole panel to write on. So there is a completely different looking card. This one's very serious and serene. And then I went crazy again, and this is fun. And this comes from the, where is it? Friends for Life stamp set. Love it. I love the coordinating dies because it lets you cut out the different layers of the word friend. I love this heart. It's a lot of fun, and I use the Full of Life designer series paper. Actually, I didn't use the designer series paper. I used the really cool die. If you look at the dies, there's all these dies. This heart is so cool, and it's just a funky little heart. There's an inside piece, but this piece here is the piece I created for this. I saw this front. I saw this design on another card of a different type of fold, and I thought it would look good on this fold. So I did copy it from someone, just the colors, and I created them with this die, and I just cut them out of different colored designer series paper. So we've got balmy blue, granny apple green, lemon lime twist, crushed curry, and Cajun craze, and then black and white. And it just looks kind of edgy and cool and fun. This is a really fun set. I've been having a blast with it, and you know I've done several videos with the paper already. So just stamped some hearts, and then inside kept it simple. It says happy birthday, and I used the background stamp to do that little background in Calypso Coral just to make it more interesting, and just use the diamond rhinestone embellishments for it. Super simple, but it's really happy. So there are your 3 corner pop-up cards. I love this card fold. I'm going to make up some more so I have them on hand for upcoming birthdays. I hope you enjoyed this card video so much, and I hope it's easy enough for you to enjoy doing as much as I do. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you don't already so that you see all of my videos, and I will have a link below to my blog with all of my cutting and scoring instructions and everything you need to know to create these cards. Thank you so much for joining me and bearing with me on this evening video where my mind's a little scattered. I appreciate you oh so much, and I will see you again next time. Have a great night.